Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you very much for joining us on your favorite evening debate program on DBS television. The program is divided into two parts. That is the yes or no and answer question, and of course we are having the debate soon afterwards. Today we are going to be discussing about some societal issues, not forgetting the reconstruction project of the Northwest and the Southwest regions respectively. And with us to discuss about these topics, we are having Mr. Ayongi Luciano. He is an education inspector. Good evening to you, Ayongi Luciano, and thank you very much for coming.
Good evening, madam. Good evening, televiewers. And it's always a pleasure now to be here when we are called to come and maybe talk one or two things.
Talk one or two things. Mange Venashus, good evening and welcome.
Good evening, Vanessa. Good evening to our viewers in the home.
All right, let us take the first part of the show, that is the questions. Welcome back once more. Question 1. Is the heightened insecurity in Cameroon's capital city an eye-opener to the general state of insecurity in the country? I begin with you, Luciano. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yes. Mange Venashus?
No, Vanessa.
No, it is not. Question 2. A man kills his girlfriend in Boya for attempting to marry another person. Is the act justifiable? I begin with you, Luciano.
No.
No, it is not. Mange Venashus?
No, Vanessa, it is not.
No, it is not. And our last question for tonight. Regional officials in the Northwest region say reconstruction will begin from safe areas. Is this logical? Mange Venashus?
Yes, Vanessa, it is.
It is logical, yes. And to you, sir?
I don't think.
You don't think so? That is a no.
Yeah.
All right. Coming up next is the debate. In our first question, we are asking, is the heightened insecurity in Cameroon's capital city an eye-opener to the general state of insecurity in the country, Cameroon? And Luciano, you say yes, it is an eye-opener. We are talking it linking to the grenades that we are being told, or we are informed, that was bombed in some neighborhoods in Yaoundé. And you say it's a general eye-opener to insecurity in Cameroon.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So what justifies your point?
I think when we follow closely what is happening in the country today, from very minute perspectives to a greater perspective, we want to believe that whatever thing is seen to happen, whatever thing is seen to happen anywhere, is just an eye-opener, as we put it there, to what is the real situation in almost all parts of the country. Almost all parts of the country. Because Cameroon, as Cameroon today, is not the Cameroon of yesterday. I just prefer to be very brief like that.
You prefer to be very brief like that?
Cameroon as Cameroon today is not the Cameroon of yesterday.
So what do you suggest in this situation for our government should do?
I think the government should come back to a situation where you have to sit and really ask ourselves, what are we really experiencing now? Because the government has been for quite some time just defending. Now it is really time for government to be offensive now. I think if the government could really sit and ask us, but why is all this crying? The Northwest is crying, the Southwest is crying, the West is crying, the littoral is crying, the center is crying, all aspects, everywhere of the country.
The Grand North is crying.
The Grand North is crying. So I think it is high time for the government to really cease from be playing the game of defending and really come back and say, but what is happening?
What is happening?
Because something is really happening in this country.
All right. So they should sit and see how they can better the situation. But man, given issues, you say it is not an eye-opener. Given that the rate of insecurity keeps increasing, the government is already tackling, has been tackling Boko Haram in the far north region. It has been tackling the Anglophone separatist fighters for over 3 to 4 years now. And now it has to do with these bombs that we hear that took place in Yaoundé.
Yes, Vanessa, to say that there was an incident in Yaoundé is a fact. There was an explosion in 2 cars in Yaoundé. And that explosion, to say it is an eye-opener to the insecurity reigning in the country, it would be like saying that that cup is half full. Right? I would rather think that that is half empty. I would rather think that when you think negative, when you are too pessimistic in your outlook, things turn out to be black. There is no country without crisis, without internal squabbles. And if it happens in Cameroon, I don't think that we can just say that Cameroon is that insecure, because remember, there is an international magazine that sidelined the president of Cameroon as a peace crusader, as a peace advocate, somebody who stands for global peace, where President Paul Biya was highlighting ways in which we can solve most of these crises in the world affecting different countries. I think that he has been carrying out the same thing in his country. So to say that there has been an explosion in Yaoundé, that the country is insecure, no, it's just normal that within any human conglomeration, there are such kind of frictions that must come up. But when they come up, I think that the government is, since yesterday, there has been an intensive search in Yaoundé to fish out such cases, and Cameroon has one of the most professional armies in Africa, and I think that security is not a worry as such. It is true, we have the case in the far north region, we have the crisis in the northwest and southwest region, but government is coming, maintaining the situation. The head of state told Cameroonians some 2 years ago that we have practically defeated Boko Haram. Boko Haram is actually becoming history. So we believe too that with time they would subdue the problem, the situation in the northwest. We are not talking of reconstruction. So
Mange, at the beginning you said it's because they have been pessimistic that the crisis has not been able to...
No, I say when we think that because there is a crisis and we think that it is insecure, we are being pessimistic of the situation in the country. So
you're linking it to the crisis going on in the northwest and the southwest.
There is a crisis like just in every other... So is it because they are being
pessimistic?
No, there's a crisis just like in any other country in the world. America has been burning. France has been burning for more than 1 year now. But should we qualify France as being insecure? No. So being pessimistic in outlook, generally, globally saying that Cameroon is insecure, is saying too much.
No, because it's not the first case of explosions that we get.
Of course. And Vanessa, I must tell you that we have had explosions in other countries claiming lives.
So but unfortunately, are you comparing other countries to Cameroon now?
Of course, we have to. When we have to state situations, we say it in relation to. When we talk of the most insecure country, it's in relation to. When we talk of the most secure country, it's in relation to. So there have been explosions in some other countries claiming lives. We have such cases in neighboring countries. But this one that we had in Yaoundé, no human life was lost.
No human life was lost. So, but what are you then advising the authorities in our capital city to do to ameliorate or to avoid such type of situations?
It's not a question of avoiding such type of situations, because like I said, in every conglomeration we have friction, and the authority, the security guards, they just have to be alert and respond to such when it comes, like the one that was in Yaoundé. Immediately it came up, instruction came from the hierarchy, and there was this systematic search in Yaoundé that has been going on since yesterday. So I think that the authority is just being alert to stop, to forestall such type of acts.
All right, that is your viewpoint.
Exactly.
Mange Venashus. Let us take our second question for tonight. Luciano, you said that it is not justifiable that a man will kill his girlfriend just because she attempted getting married to another man. That is, it has been a situation that we've been getting, and it has been a debate of what happened in Boya, where a boy killed his girlfriend because she announced, or she said she wants to marry another man, and a lot of like bullying has been going on social media on both sides. The girl supporting the fact that he never had the right to do so, the boy saying that no, he had the right to do so. But in your own personal point of view, is that justifiable?
I still remain I still maintain my point. I say no.
All right.
One, the law about life is very clear. You shall not kill. Thou shalt not kill. That law does not exempt any category of sins that a man should commit and is being maybe could be, you could say, because of this. No, the law is very clear. Thou shalt not kill. And therefore, for whatever purpose, the man who killed the wife was wrong.
Was wrong.
Yeah.
Despite the conditions.
Despite the
conditions. He had sponsored her education.
Yes.
That long. He had no right to do so.
Yes.
So you are bent on the fact that because the law says so, he never had the right to do so.
Yes.
Not looking at the psychological part that or the torture he must have gone through.
I accept the fact that he might have spent this or that to bring this or this to the life of the girl. I accept that one very well. But I still hold the fact he had no right to kill the girl.
To kill the girl.
Yeah.
And as an educational inspector, we are out to educate our televiewers.
Yeah.
We're out to educate these youths that indulge in some activities that could take away their lives. And what could you advise the young generation concerning this?
I want to thank you very much for that question. The first advice I give them is, one, protect life. Protect first of all your life, and then protect the life of the other person.
I get you.
Protect your life and protect the life of the other person. There will be a kind of a relationship whereby the same what I know, you know, what I'm not in the aspect of protecting life, and your life and my life are maybe on the basis, they have the same basis. So what will protect your life will protect my life.
Will protect your life.
So when I protect my life, certainly I apply the same measures I protect your own life.
So if you have to tell now a youth watching us at this particular moment, in that situation, what should a person necessarily do as first aid?
I would be one of the persons who would first go quiet.
You would be?
I'll first go quiet.
And the general point of view?
General point of view, you know, silence at times, not really. Silence really is a very big
a virtue.
It's a virtue, you know. And when we must have discovered really what silence holds, I'm very convinced one or two people, additional people, will go for it.
All right, thank you. Luciano is saying that you should value life by respecting another person's life. My governor shoes, you think it's not justifiable that a young man would take another person's life just for reasons of they failed him in one way or the other?
Yes, Vanessa, you know, whatever happens, human life is not, there is no duplicate of human life. And no matter how the gravity of what you would have committed, that is why we have things like correctional centers, rather than just say, once you do something that I don't like, I kill you. But in the case of the normal civilized society, the law, simple reasoning warrants that if you do what is not acceptable, you should be taken to a center where you would be corrected, reformed, and you come back to society and live. That gives you the opportunity to, you know, change. But then when life is taken, no matter what kind of explanation we give, we cannot give back that girl's life. Because life is just like, you know, a candle that is burning. Once you blow off the candle, that is all. There is no way we can bring back that life, no matter the kind of justification we give. But then, Vanessa, let us not pull this on one side. The story goes that the young man has been sponsoring the girl in question right up to year 2 in university. She was a law student. And the girl came back to tell, the young man is a baba.
It's a baba.
Yes, I came back to tell the girl, the boy, that she has given her hand to another person to get married to that person. Emotionally speaking, that is very traumatizing. that is true, the young man would have gone through because of the kind of, maybe future he has been building with that girl, thinking about with that girl, and all has been shattered, all what he has done. But then the lesson for that we have to tell our sisters is, if you look at the two situations, the young man was illiterate. If you accept the money of an illiterate man, accept the illiterate man.
Accept the illiterate man.
Yes. If you think that somebody is not of your taste, his money should not be of your taste.
Should not be of your taste.
If you think that somebody is not of your class, his money should not be of your class. Because when you give somebody hope, this thing called emotional relationship is
very sensitive.
A give and take kind of relationship. If you are not ready to reciprocate the actions of a man, no matter his societal status, if you are not ready to reciprocate that action, don't accept anything from him, because that would certainly be a time bomb, and it would cost your life. No matter the way we condemn the young man for whatever he has done, the girl has died. If we've seen the future this girl has gone with, was a year 2 student, a law student. We don't know the kind of brilliant lawyer that girl would have been in a society. We don't know the kind of mother that girl would have been in a society. But because of her, what they call, I don't want to call it stupidness, I don't want to call it naivety, I don't want to call it being greedy, self-centered, but she just simply felt that at one point she saw somebody who was, above her simple baba, and just simply accepted. And you see the boldness, went to the young man to tell him that, no, I've accepted to get married to this man. That is, very traumatizing. And
Manga Venashus, I am asking the question, surely my televiewers also should be having the same worry. Does it mean that he was helping her with the condition that he is going to get married to her?
Vanessa, if we are talking of a relationship where it comes to a point where a man is sponsoring...
Or he took upon himself to sponsor her with the notion that he is going to get married to her.
From every conclusion that we need to draw, the girl is no longer there to tell us her own part of the story. But then, if we take a situation where a young man is already sponsoring a girl in school, one, the family cannot claim ignorance of the fact. The family can never, because you cannot have a child. The child is schooling in a university and you don't know who is sponsoring the child and you are quiet.
Manga, it might happen that the family is sponsoring the girl and she's taking
and then collecting money from
another person.
From every indication, if it comes to a point when you are in a relationship, we all pass through that same stage. When you are in a relationship with somebody, you help the person in one way or the other. But when the help becomes too much, you cannot tell me that is for nothing. And if it was just a simple relationship, then coming to tell him that I've accepted somebody to marry, it would not have been a problem, because she had never accepted to get married to him. That would not have been a problem. But then, if the young man was helping the girl quietly, building that ambition quietly, inwardly, then that young man is a fool. Because you cannot be building, if I'm planning to build a future with a lady, that lady should know what I'm thinking. And if I'm planning it alone, it is my plan, it's not our plan. So in that case, the lady was right. But then we are judging from the fact that the lady certainly knew that this young man, they were building their future. That is why the young man was working to let the girl go ahead and build their future. And then it's just like backstabbing the young man.
All right, Mr. Luciano?
Yeah, I want to accept a bit what he says, but differ a bit also. Life is what we make it. But when we don't get into the details, we tend to commit very many errors. This girl, as you rightly said, we are we are basing our we are just hypothesizing,
Yes.
This girl could, as well as could not, have informed the boy, or the boy in question could, as well as could not. Now, you have just argued on one side. What about the other side of the story? What
side
about
are
the
we
other
talking
side?
about?
He argued that maybe the girl, the side in which he took to advance.
All right.
Now, what about the other
That she
side?
was being sponsored by the boy
He was being sponsored by, yeah.
with the knowledge of her parents.
Yes. What also of the case where she was being sponsored with or without the knowledge of the parents? That is where the problem for me lies.
All right. He stabbed the girl. She is of late now,
Yeah.
but he is in a serious condition because he attempted to kill himself too. But lucky enough,
The attempt was aborted.
Yes, was
Yes.
aborted. So let us now address ourselves to the girls watching us at this particular moment.
That's what I was saying,
Yes.
that girls need to be extra careful. As like I said, if somebody is ugly, let his money be ugly.
Yeah.
If somebody is illiterate, let his money be illiterate. If somebody is below class, let his money be below class. Because once you accept it, be ready to send down the same gesture. Because no human being, once you get into a relationship, we are not refusing the fact that there are people who would help you genuinely. But when somebody starts helping you to a certain level, start asking questions. If somebody starts being too kind to you, start asking a question. Because I used to believe that any mature girl, if a man tells you, hello, how are you? With a preconceived intention, that girl knows. You know that this man wants to say this or that to me. If you want to prove that you are naive, you finally find yourself in such a situation. So I want to say that girls should not be naive. Girls should not be self-centered, but go in for genuine relationship. Be truthful. And once you are truthful, I think you will save yourself a lot of troubles and for others.
All right, be truthful. Mange Venashus is telling us that. Let us take our last question for tonight. This issue has sparked a lot of debate all over, and people keep on talking about it with different viewpoints. Our last question: regional officials in the Northwest region say reconstruction will begin from safe areas. Is this logical? Luciano, you said it's not logical. The question I ask myself is, which safe area are we talking about?
That is the same question I'm asking myself. Which safe areas? Because when we look at the Northwest, we look at the Southwest, it is very clear that something is wrong. And instead of voting a budget to reconstructing what? First of all, are we reconstructing ourselves? Because the human being in the Northwest and the Southwest needs now to be reconstructed. When the human being is reconstructed, at that time you could start talking of reconstructing roads, but I think reconstruction of the human person.
Human person,
Yeah.
their
Yes.
morals, their
Yeah.
psychology, first of all, to bring them back where they were,
Yeah.
and heal those pains.
Yeah.
All right, he thinks that they should reconstruct the people first of all, because he doesn't see what or who they are reconstructing. That is his point of view. Mange Venashus, you think that is logical? They should begin reconstruction in safe areas. Which area is safe? Is it the Northwest? Is it the Southwest? Is it Bamenda? Is it Kumbu? Is it Bafut? Or which area is safe?
Okay, we're talking about the Northwest region in particular, and you know, when the Presidential Reconstruction Plan Committee or the commission that is in the Northwest region, when they met in Bamenda, they had representatives from Bui, Ndonga, Bantum, Fundong, other divisions. They came, and it was kind of, you know, they are in Bamenda for a fact-finding mission and sensitization. Fact-finding, they want to find out what to do, where to do. Now, in that their meeting, these regional representatives indicated that reconstruction should begin from safer areas.
All right, maybe you could help us or help televiewers understand those areas that are safe.
When we look at the Northwest region, that's the region we are talking of in question, here, the schools were not interrupted in all the divisions. In Bamenda, life is going on. Administrators tell us that life is going on in Bamenda. In Kambe town, in the Ndonga Mantun division, life has been going on there. Schools have been going on there. We've been having feedback, celebrating Youth Day, National Day, very perfectly. So in such a case, The administrators are telling us that they can isolate such areas and begin the work. There is this thing of, if we keep on thinking that the whole crisis will come to an end completely before we start building, I don't think that we are heading towards any positive direction. But then, if we need to begin from somewhere, no matter how small it may be. Let's come down to Bamenda town. Begin from Bamenda, and once things keep going, we may see the peace may start, returning in some other areas, and God knows.
Mange Venatius, you are talking of Bamenda town, but we all know that it's not secured. If I ask you to go maybe to hospital roundabout, a lot of people will tell you that is a no-go area. Bamenda Kwen itself, it has not been easy with the locals there. So you are telling us that it is safe, and I begin to wonder, how would that take place?
That's why I've cited Bamenda, I've cited Kambe. Not all regions are the same. It is true that there has been crisis in some other areas, but the intensity, when you listen to the Northwest region, maybe we talk of Boy, we talk of maybe Momo, part of it. But Fundong, have you heard of Fundong of late? Reconstruction can start from Fundong division. Have you heard of Ngoktunja? Have been part of Ndop, has been burning actually, but there are still some parts that have been quiet. So construction work can still begin. One thing we forget is we live out of this division, of this region. The administrators are there, and if they say their regions or their localities are safe, if they say they can begin from areas that are a bit safer, I think that they understand the ball game more than we do.
Areas, they are safe or they are safer? Because we are joking terms here.
Yeah, we're using the word they are safer.
All right. Maybe our inspector, education inspector, has something to say.
I would like to differ a bit with what he's saying.
Yes.
Because when we look at the situation we have at hand, it's not something that maybe the guys, whether be they the state or the separatists, for the separatists, it's very clear. It's not something they planned within a day. It's something that has been taken enough time to be planned. And I don't think the state jumping to come in and just say, okay, we are beginning to reconstruct. Let them sit. Let them sit down and talk. Let them sit down and talk.
All right.
When they will have spoken,
dialogue.
When they will have spoken, any other thing follows. But let that talk come first.
And that is what the commission is in the Northwest region, to find out those facts, like you are saying, and then sensitize.
It is not the dialogue commission.
Okay.
It is not the dialogue commission in the Northwest. It is the commission.
Reconstruction Commission.
Reconstruction Commission. All right, gentlemen, maybe Mange Venatius, and last words to our televiewers, but let's not forget that we are still within the coronavirus pandemic.
Yeah, the coronavirus pandemic, like somebody said here yesterday, the other day, you should consider yourself a target. Say that I don't want to be a coronavirus victim. Once you say that I will not be a vector, then you are also saying that I will protect others. I will protect my life, I will protect others. So the fight for the pandemic, against the spread of the pandemic, should be an individual fight. It should not be a government fight. There's no government. There's nobody called government. No government dies. Cameroonians are you and I. These are the people dying. So if we keep waiting for the government will never die. But we can die. So let's protect our lives, protect our neighbors, protect our families, and in that way, we would put coronavirus at bay.
And Luciano, as an education inspector, what do you advise lay private schools within the fight of this coronavirus pandemic?
The fight against corona pandemic is something that is universal, not only to lay private schools. So if I am giving advice, first of all, it goes universally.
Okay.
And what I advise is each and every human being, the state has come up with practical modalities. Put on your mask, keep social distancing, all those like
regular washing
of hands. I think we should first of all respect that. As Vinicius rightly said, when you are observing and you are respecting and maybe keeping the distance, with first of all viewing your own self, automatically you are protecting the next person.
Correct. Thank you very much for coming. It has been a pleasure having you.
Thank you.
Mangavin, we hope to have you tomorrow again.
We'll be there.
And ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching Viewpoint on DBS television. Tomorrow we will be back again, but then programs continue. Until we meet, do take care and stay safe. Protect your community out from coronavirus pandemic. Bye-bye.